Good morning, everybody. So, conscious fashion. Conscious fashion is about making an informed choice that prioritizes social and environmental responsibility in fashion. When we consider this definition and what's happening globally, we might maybe fair to say that what's happening in the fashion industry is largely unconscious. Over 100 billion garments are manufactured every single year. 85% of them end up in landfill. That's like a large truck, a rubbish truck full of clothes being dumped into landfill every single second. The reality is nobody is excluded from the fashion industry. Even spiritual leaders' robes are made from fabric that came from the fashion industry. It might have been made from material that did not consider the planet, and it might have, when washed, might even contaminate our environment and of course, our health. In the last 2 years, it has been discovered that microplastics are found in human placenta and even breast milk. So microplastics have lots of toxic chemicals, and some of those chemicals, like phthalate, are very being associated with asthma, heart disease, child obesity, and even cancer. About 60% of our clothes is actually made out of plastic, which contains microfibers that actually pollutes our water. So we should be concerned. So how does a social recycling company like Clothes to Good have a positive effect on exiting people from poverty, inclusion of people, including people with disabilities, and consciously recycling what is deemed to be unconsciously produced? In a third world country like us, it's critically important that we encourage our people to recycle their pre-loved clothes. We motivate them to recycle it at participating retailers, at school projects and staff volunteerism projects, so that they can be sorted and then either reused, upcycled, or downcycled. But the aim of recycling is also to try and support other important social challenges, like students at schools recycling their clothes and getting a small tree to plant, or staff volunteerism programs where they are recycling and helping children with cerebral palsy get their first wheelchair, an orthopedic wheelchair. This reminds me of our Clothes to Wheels project, where Sipiwe and Gurley got their first refurbished orthopedic wheelchairs. So Tammy Kralen, my business partner and occupational therapist, decided to go and visit them many months later after they got these chairs, noting that Gurley and Sipiwe were confined to their wheelchairs for most of their lives before they had these chairs for mobility. So Tammy decided to do some therapy with Gurley, but Gurley wasn't so happy that morning. So Sipiwe, with his newfound mobility and his wheelchair, he rushed over and wheeled over to Gurley and held her hand and calmed her down that morning. It was a very hot summer's morning in their corrugated iron facility, and the lights were shining brightly through those windows. But I must tell you, the light shining from Sipiwe was much brighter. He reminded us of that conscious human heart and the ability to shine brightly, to give us that opportunity to also do the same and serve. So the recycling process is quite complex. Every single item has to be touched and sorted individually so that we could either reuse it, repair and reuse, upcycle to a useful item, or downcycle to fiber that supports the motor industry and other industries. Only clothes that are molded or not good for human consumption are actually destroyed or incinerated. The good news, though, in the last 11 years, less than 1% of the clothes that we recycled either were incinerated or went to landfill. To simplify the process, for a person who can't hold a pen or somebody who doesn't have the cognitive abilities to report within the process, we implemented Internet of Things technology. What we discovered afterwards that we actually invented a way in which we can track every single kilogram across the process, which also helped us to eliminate greenwashing. What we're very excited about now is that we're going to be implementing infrared scanners so that we can even sort the material content of items, so that we can start extracting useful material so that it could be rewoven and reused. We have a very key focus on mothers of children with disabilities, arguably the most marginalized people in our country. They are often locked out from jobs because nobody wants to look after their children. And in some of our communities, there's a stigma attached to disability. These women are now successful businesswomen, buying their homes, their first car, and putting their children through better education. They're providing a good quality product at affordable prices. The first 6 years of a child's life is a critical period in their brain development, especially for perceptual skills, fine motor skills, literacy skills, and numeracy skills. With the abundance of recycled materials, we're able to make early childhood development products for and stimulate children in low-resource centers. From a sensory snake made out of single socks, stuffed with so-called waste, to a beanbag made from high-quality denim and stuffed with shredded sneakers. So we entered the Frontier Challenge at the end of last year, and we advised the judges that we believe we can have an impact to people living with autism, anxiety, and ADHD. We together are launching NimNims, which is weighted blankets, weighted vests, and weighted toys to support people with these disabilities and challenges. This is made from high-quality upcycled denim and stuffed with crushed, rounded glass to create the weight in the weighted blankets. So the future looks like this. You could go online, you can pick a mother, you can tell her you have a 20-kilogram child, she'll make a 2-kilogram blanket for you. You tell her my child needs quiet fidgets, not noisy ones, and she'll get it done. The device will come back to us, checked for health and safety standards, and distributed safely to you and your child. So about 30% of the clothes we get cannot be reused or upcycled and needs to be downcycled. So what we did is we got a local product, a local machine that is able to cut out buttons, cut out zips, and cut out elastic so that it can be sorted and then baled and then shredded into fine fiber. The fiber is supporting the motor industry and the bed mattress industry, but now recently will also be supporting the building industry with a material tile that's been invented for that. We also are shredding shoes to fine shred that's making a much stronger paving block with 20% shoe waste. This is already going into KwaMashu schools and it's going into ECD centers as well. A very big opportunity, of course, in our local communities for enterprise development, and we have a lot of young designers that are taking the volumes of clothes we have to support their ranges of product. In a nutshell, this is reuse, upcycling, and downcycling. Unlike shareholder business models who have a very strong focus on short-term results and performance, a social enterprise business model is more collaborative, is more inclusive, and we do not want to own and control the value cycle. But to truly serve and make the fashion industry more conscious, we will have to be more compassionate be patient. We would have to put our egos down to have excellence. We will have to forgive those for past mistakes, but hope that they will forgive us for mistakes we make in recycling. We will have to look deeply into our inner conscious voice and act righteously with that same truth with clear intentions. We will have to include everyone without judgment, including people with disabilities who are truly an asset to the recycling world and also to the industries they serve. We will have to choose to act with peace, with nonviolent thoughts, nonviolent words, and nonviolent actions, and to mutually serve like Superior's taught us when he served Gurley. So if a small recycling company can do this and choose human values from the end and the start of a value cycle, what are the strong players' excuses? What is your excuse as a consumer? Why should we not choose human values and be consciously able to produce products, distribute products, and consume products in a more conscious way for a better conscious fashion recycling world? Let's apply Neil Armstrong's words. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. This step is closer than you think. It's a step back into your own human heart. It's a step where it's about a conscious heart to heart, love to love. So let's practice universal human values that is needed for us to make that giant conscious fashion leap. Thank you.